Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, we'll be predicting the full card of fights for UFC Fight Night, Ankalaev versus Walker 2. So that feels good to say. Feel like it's been a whole year since we predicted fights. But it's been about 2-3 weeks, and that 2-3 weeks feel like forever. But we're back in it, we're back in it, starting up again. Nothing to recap because it's a new year, so everything else is left in 2023. 2024 is a new year. So let's get into it. So in our first fight, we have in the flyweight division, we got Felipe Bunes versus Joshua Van. And I'm going high confidence Joshua Van, which is kind of crazy a little bit because you're going with a guy who just had one UFC fight and stuff. You like typically don't want to do it, give a guy that young and that fresh and new in the UFC high confidence is like no reason to do it. But I'll give him here. I feel like Felipe Bunes was just kind of brought in to kind of like initially he was supposed to fight a guy who was about to be on his way out of the UFC. Kind of be like, if you win, you get a UFC contract. If the other guy lose or whatever the case, like pretty much a loser goes home type. Like he wasn't brought in as some amazing prospect. He was brought in as basically, hey, you got to fight. This might as well be a contender series fight. That's how he was being brought in. He wasn't being brought in as actual legit like talent, but he's a good enough fighter. But I just feel against Joshua Van. Van just much more talented. I feel like his boxing much cleaner. I feel like Boones has a lot of openings on the feet. And I feel like his own grappling and takedown offense and takedown defense isn't that best. When you really look at it, most of his losses have come by submission. When I look at his striking, he leaves a lot of opening, a lot of gaps, very open to the body. Chin be kind of hanging out there a lot of times, and I feel like Van will take a full advantage of that. Rip him to the body with body combinations, get those hands to drop, catch him with shots like hooks, catch him with overhands. It really put a striking clinic on him, and I think he gets him out of there second round. So in this one, I have Joshua Van via second round TKO. Now over to Nikki Betts.
Yeah, I have to be. I'm inclined to agree with you. I definitely think that Joshua Van I think you put it perfectly. Like the fact that he's only had one UFC fight, he only has one loss. Felipe Bunes is kind of Peter pattern on both sides. He's 13-6, which that's still 13 fights he's won. So like you can't sleep on anybody. But I do think Joshua Van is talented, and I think that's where he's gonna be at his best. So it's easy for me to go with them. I do caution when you bet though, like you make sure if you have a good feeling about someone like Farid Basharat versus Taylor Lapilus, you know what I mean. I'm inclined to just say Joshua Van's gonna win. So it's pretty easy. So in this one, I got Joshua Van. Probably by TKO.
All right, cool. Now to our next one, we have in the lightweight division, we got Tom Nolan versus Nicolas Motta. And how I feel about this one right here is I'm going Tom Nolan, average confidence to beat Nicolas Motta. I'm leaning kind of second round TKO for what's his name? Tom Nolan. Hopefully I was gonna say Tim or whatever case get the name and stuff. But yeah, I'm going like about average confidence Tom Nolan. I'm thinking second round TKO. I think Nicolas Motta is an okay fighter, but I feel like it's really not much to him. It's not like he's a guy who has like sneakily good BJJ or sneakily good wrestling in BJJ. He kind of more so this guy to kind of plow forward and throw a couple hooks out there and looking to knock your head out. He's not really the most technical striker, and he's a pretty limited fighter. And I feel like Tom Nolan just better everywhere. I feel like he's a much sharper striker. But hey, you can get caught up in the exchange. Anybody can get caught, and it's not like Tom Nolan is so proven. That's why it's just average confidence. But Tom Nolan's skills is as good as they are, and he starts to add proven wins to his record, like in the UFC. Yes, this probably will be a high, maybe even a lot confidence pick. But the fact that he still has to show me something, I'm gonna lean to this average here, and I think he should be to pick apart Nicolas Motta, especially not in the earlier rounds or the earlier round, but more so like fill him out, kind of set him up for stuff in the first round, kind of touch and work him behind the jab, throw some teeth to his body, then really set him up for the second round where he'll be able to put him out. Because Tom Nolan's not typically a fighter that just goes out there and be sloppy and forces anything. He's more of a technical fighter. He lets the fight kind of settle down and finds his opening. So I think he'll be able to settle down, find his opening. And Trey Ogden, a fighter who's not really typically a striker, is able to really set up, find setups on Motta and find openings. I think a guy like Tom Nolan, who I think is a better striker, will be able to find those openings and be able to find those setups and be able to put him away in the second round. So in this one, I got Tom Nolan via second round TKO. Now over to Nikki Betts.
Yeah, I like Nicolas Motta, and he beats someone that's taller than him, and that's what's going to be this fight as well. I see it a lot like Ian Gary. Ian Gary wasn't proven by any means until he started, putting the work on people, and he's been doing that so far. It's just when someone first comes in, you can always think someone's great, but then fate changes, their ability to win. So it is what it is. But you live to fight another day. I like Tom Nolan. I think he wins. Average confidence as well. I do think Nicolas Motta can pose some dangerousness that if Tom Nolan sleeps on him and lets him just attack him like full force without, making it calculated. I agree. Like I think he's a huge talent, and I think he's an up and comer. But I also think Nicolas Motta, even though he's 13-5, like I enjoyed watching him beat someone that was taller than him, because I'm 5'9", which is not that tall, but like Justin Gaethje's like 5'10", 5'11", and so it makes me feel good, you know what I mean? But yeah, I got Tom Nolan in this one. Easy decision, but average confidence.
All right, now to our next one. We have in the featherweight division, we got Weston Wilson versus John Silva. And how I feel about this one right here is I'm going high confidence on John Silva to beat Weston Wilson. When I look at Weston Wilson, I didn't see a guy that didn't really earn his stripes to be in the UFC. I think he's a solid fighter. Obviously, as far as like putting the work and fighting and training for X amount of years. You train hard. You might not be at the level. I guess you still kind of earned your opportunity. He did take the fight. So, but as far as is he at the skill level of the UFC? I don't think so. I think John Silva is like exceeds the level to meet the UFC requirements or the skill requirements, and obviously he won his contender series fight, so he actually earned his shot in the UFC. And yeah, I think John Silva was a much better striker. I think Weston Wilson has a long frame, a lot of area, hit area. He has all of his long body, his long face. He got a lot of area to be touched. Don't feel like he has the best defense. Don't feel like he has really any area where he has any advantage in this one. I feel like John Silva is just a better overall fighter. That's like he picks him apart and puts him away in the first round. But yeah, everybody got a shot, but I ain't giving him too much of a shot. It's like Wes Wilson, clearly looks like a here today, gone tomorrow. Was brought in just for I guess to build another fighter back up or coming on short notice, and I think he's gonna be just how he came in on short notice. I think his career in the UFC will be short lived. So in this one, I got John Silva via first round TKO. Not over to Nikki Betts.
Yeah, I'm not so clear on the outcome of how the fight is finished, but I am average confidence Gene Silva. But I to be honest, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm the same age as Weston Wilson, right? He's got like 3 inches on me. John Silva's 5'6", and Weston Wilson's 6'1". Like the dude's 7 inches taller than him. I kind of feel like that's being a weight bully, but he got into the UFC, bro. Kudos to him. He has a 4-inch reach. He got the age, but he also got the losses. And I think John Silva, being the younger, hungrier, probably fighter than Weston Wilson will be, because Weston Wilson is kind of reserved in how he operates. So it's pretty easy to neutralize that from the fights I've seen. You know what I mean? So yeah, I got average confidence Gene Silva.
All right, cool. Now on to our next one. We have in the bantamweight division, we got Fareed Basharat versus Taylor Lapilus. So Fareed Basharat versus Taylor Lapilus. Bantamweight division. How I feel about this one right here is I'm going average confidence Fareed Basharat to beat Taylor Lapilus. I think this is a very close fight. I know for some reason this is like a lot of people's favorite fight. Like, oh, Fareed Basharat is going to clearly win this one. And
no.
Yeah, in the sense that basically what I'm kind of going with is they're pretty evenly skilled, kind of similar in some ways, but Fareed Basharat is just better. But that's never the best indicator to oh, I'm gonna go lock on this one or high, crazy money on this one. This is very much a pick 'em fight. I might feel like average is a good average, you comfortable, but I would never tell anyone that this is a lock confident fight right here. This is a very close fight. Yeah, Lapilus is very experienced, very few losses, been around the world, very good guy, very slick striker. Kind of got that, I guess, like they mentioned some of his fights, got kind of that Leon Edwards feel, like he's not saying he's not gonna wow you say, oh my gosh, he's such a phenomenal grappler. Leon Edwards has done that at points, but he kind of like that, like I say, good grappling awareness, very slick striker, good Judge Rain in that sense, he's very Leon Edwards. That's in like anytime a guy kind of got that little bit of sleeper talent to them, and they got skills and they're well around like that, you can't afford to say, "Oh, I'm gonna lock against guy when they're so evenly matched up." But what I do is say I say they're very evenly matched up, but I feel Fareed Basharat does have the clear edge. I feel in one area. I would say he has the edge everywhere, but I would say the clear edge he does have that as well, and that is in the grappling. I feel like Lapilus has not really shown too much grappling offense or really much grappling defense. He has shown good educated defense and ability to get back to his feet. But again, not really much good submissions off his back, no good thrusts off his back, no real good offensive takedowns to work off, work in the area. Where we have seen Basharat is coming off a win over Clayton Rodriguez, where he just took him down and tapped him out and looked very slick on the ground. And in each of his fights, he's actually getting like 2+ takedowns, 2 or more takedowns in all of his appearances under this, I guess, UFC banner of sorts or whatever it goes on. In the past, you could say Zuffa banner, but it's not owned by Zuffa, whatever the TKO company, affiliate he has been getting takedowns. So in a fight that could already be close, Basharat has the edge in, the X factor area, and that's in the grappling where he can mix that in. But to potentially make the fight far or just do enough to edge the fight. So I got to go for Fareed Basharat, average confidence here. Just, I think, the better overall fighter in every area and also in the key areas. So in this one, I have Fareed Basharat via decision. Now over to Nick Betts.
Yeah, I love the way you put that. It was a work of art. I couldn't agree more, bro. Like I think it's a close fight. I think both guys pose dangers to the other guy. But I do feel like I have to lean Fareed Basharat just because of his last performance. His first performance he performed, and then his second performance he performed. So like but Taylor Lapilus, he's dangerous, bro. Like I'm not too inclined to do this anymore, but like I want to say over 1.5 just because like, bro, like these dudes are high level. They're both high level, but I do think that I also think like why I wouldn't be inclined is like what happened with Benoit Saint Denis and Matt Frivola, because like both the guys were dangerous, obviously. So, it could end sooner than that. So if you watch both fighters, they're both like so skilled. There's not a lot you can do with a fight like that because it could go either way. Like Taylor Lapilus could bleed him out and just make him get tired. You know what I mean? I don't know, because he goes 15 minutes usually in the fights that I've seen him in, and so it only makes, and he's a tough dude, but I think Fareed Basharat gets us. So in this one, I got Fareed Basharat.
All right, cool. Now to our next one. We have in the bantamweight division, we got Marcus McGhee versus Gaston Bolanos and Hospital right here. I forget what I went. Did I go low or average? I'm gonna go average. So average confidence, Marcus McGhee to beat Gaston Bolanos. I think it's another case of where yes, Gaston Bolanos might be the more technical striker, given his extensive background in striking. But I don't feel like it's that wide as far as striking. But I feel like Marcus McGhee, typically he doesn't have a huge grappling advantage, but I feel like he should have a decent grappling advantage, like a respectable grappling advantage here against Bolanos. Bolanos' grappling looked pretty terrible in his last fight. He was letting got mounted multiple times, got back taken multiple times, got taken down easily. This did not look very educated or skilled in the ground department. Like he just looked very exposed. I mean, he didn't look very vulnerable in that area. So I feel like he put any respectable grappling in the weight class, I feel like they would take him down, bust him up, and submit him. That's why how bad he looked in his last fight. But again, Marcus McGhee at one point, his grappling was, I think we say that's the way to beat him. But he's been working on improving area. But either way, I say for a close enough fight, Gaston Bolanos probably to be the more technical striker. But I feel like I feel Marcus McGhee will be more educated. I think more effective. I think Gaston Bolanos probably be a little bit more technical. Yeah, technical, but Marcus McGhee be more effective, probably land the heavier shots in the key moments, and then be able to use, like, maybe he clips him and maybe he stumbles, and then maybe use that to initiate grappling. But I think he'll be the mix up. And in a close enough fight, I think, again, the fighter who has the other path to take the fight, and I feel he will have the ability to take it there. Because sometimes people have the skills, but not the ability to get it there. Like, yes, you're a better grappler, but you got 0% takedown accuracy. So what does that matter? But I feel like Marcus McGhee will be able to find ways to mix it in at times enough to be able to edge fight if he needs to edge it via his grappling. So yeah, close enough fight, but I feel like Marcus McGhee has the other edge in a fight that I feel is close on paper. So in this one, I have Marcus McGhee via decision. Not over to Nikki Betts.
Yeah, again, I agree with you. I think that Gaston, I think he proved that he could be a hunter, and that's kind of what I saw out of him. And I just think Marcus McGhee is just a little more polished. So not too much to say about this one. 8-1, 7-3. Both guys, I think are definitely dangerous, but I'm just inclined to lean Marcus McGhee. I do see maybe a little bit where Gaston can give him problems, but I'm kind of leaning Marcus McGhee. So Marcus McGhee for sure.
All right, cool. Now to our next one. We have in the welterweight division, we got Matthew Semelsberger versus Preston Parsons. And how I feel about this one right here is I'm going Matthew Semelsberger. What's it? I'm going low confidence Matthew Semelsberger. That's first. I'm going low confidence Matthew Semelsberger. And I'm leaning like first round TKO, KO, TKO for Matthew Semelsberger. Very close fight. It's not like Matthew Semelsberger is like this such a otherworldly talent. He's a solid fighter, but I think he's kind of like a middle of the pack type fighter, or maybe a lower middle of the pack fighter. He's not like no guy that's I see elevate himself up the weight class. And I kind of see this being like the Jake Matthews fight, except Parsons not having the chin of Jake Matthews, maybe a little bit better technique, but not as good overall. I think Jake Matthews had that experience, and he just tougher, I guess, physically tougher, and he can make not be as technical, but he can find ways to win and whatnot. But yeah, I feel like Semelsberger has a tendency to really drop people in the first round, and he has good power. I can see where Preston Parsons kind of comes out to a good fill-out process. He kind of sets his strikes up well and tries to follow through with the takedowns and has decent success there. But I think Semelsberger's wrestling defense is solid enough to be able to address the grappling of Preston Parsons. On feet, I think Parsons might be a little bit more technical on the feet, but I think Max Semelsberger is a much better athlete, much more explosive. I think he'll be able to find those shots. And when I just really don't think Parsons is going to be able to wear those shots that well. I think he's going to be getting clipped and not going to be able to respond that well. I think Semelsberger is going to be on top of him and be able to finish him off with some ground and pound. And I see this in the first round, probably later into the fight. I mean, later into that first round, probably 4-minute mark or 3 minutes or later into that first round. So in this one, I got Matthew Semelsberger via first round TKO. Not up to Nikki Betts.
Yeah, it's pretty much. I'm pretty sure it's the grappler versus the striker, and I don't think there wasn't anything that you said that I didn't find untrue. I think I don't know when the fight ends. I don't know how it ends, just because I have low confidence in that. But I do think maybe Preston Parsons can pull a rabbit out of his hat, but I don't see that happening in this fight. I don't see him pulling anything out of any hats. I think, like you said, Semelsberger is a little bit more polished, a little bit more technical, a little bit. He's just a little bit ahead of Preston Parsons, and I'm not shitting on Preston Parsons, but I just don't see him winning. So yeah, in this one, easy pick. I say Semelsberger, but the odds reflect. You know what I mean? It's like -170 to -110, or that's what last time I saw it. And if I'm thinking correctly, but yeah. So in this one, I got Semelsberger, low confidence.
All right, cool. Now to our next one. We have in our prelim headliner, we got in the heavyweight division, we got Andre Arlovski versus Waldo Cortes Acosta, or was it Waldo Cortes Acosta? And how I feel about this one right here is I'm going high confidence Waldo Cortes Acosta to beat Andre Arlovski. I feel like Andre Arlovski, especially in his last fight, I think he's been moving on a downtrend for some time. He's been able to get on a streak and win some fights, but they've been getting
44.
Yeah, he's been 44, and he's been in the UFC he. I think when he first fought in the UFC, I think
started.
He debuted like at 19, 20, 21, 22, something. No, very young. It's not like he came in the game at 30 and now he's 40. He came in the game in his 20s or even his teens, and now he's 44. So that's a lot of mileage. And yes, he was able to resurge his career by being like lower of the pack heavyweights. But starting to catch up with him. Like he got TKO by Dontel Mays in the last fight. Dontel Mays doesn't be TKOing no one, let alone dropping people. So that's really a clear sign enough for me. Up in age, now you're getting TKO by people that don't even drop people, that really hurt people. I think Waldo Cortes Acosta is a better talent than Mays. I think he's a better striker than Mays. I definitely think he carries much more power. I think he's sharper. And I think he'll be able to catch an age declining Arlovski in the first round. I think he'll be able to put him out in the first round. Work down the jab, pressure him, crack him, cut the cage off. Yeah. It's kind of all over the place, but yeah. Work down the jab, cut the cage off, set him up, line him up, put him out first round. So in this one, I got Waldo Cortes Acosta via first round TKO. Not over to Nikki Betts.
Yeah, I feel super bad for this one because, Andre Arlovski, if I'm counting right, he has almost 60 fights. He's 44. You know what I mean? And he's put in a lot of work, and I respect him. And Waldo Cortes Acosta is only 10-1, but he's 32. He's 6'3". He's 260. Got 20 pounds on Andre, but they got the same reach. So there's that. But I feel bad. I feel like it's kind of like a Tony Ferguson situation. Like he's just getting older, and like it sucks, but like I just hope he can retire because he deserves it. He's put in a lot of work, and but I feel bad because I have to pick Waldo Cortes Acosta, and the odds reflect why. He's like minus 330 or something, and I think he's just dangerous. And if Andre Arlovski isn't careful, then you know what I mean, something can happen. So I got medium confidence. I think it could easily be a lock. But I caution people to watch his fights and learn and see if you like him and if you think he's a good bet. So yeah, I got Waldo Cortes Acosta in this one.
All right, cool. All right, now on to our next one. We have in our first fight on the main card, we have in the middleweight division, we got Phil Hawes versus Brennan Ferreira. Or not Brennan, it's Bruno Ferreira. So Phil Hawes versus Bruno Ferreira. And how I feel about this one right here is I'm going low confidence Phil Hawes to beat Bruno Ferreira. And yeah, low confidence. If I could go low confidence, I would, but it don't go lower than low for the low meter on at least on my meter. Other people got meters where they got all these different levels of confidence. I just got low, average, high, and low. And as far as I can go low, that's as low as I can go. So low confidence, Phil Hawes to beat Bruno Ferreira. Both of these guys got questionable chins. Phil Hawes has more history of having a questionable chin, and sometimes questionable heart at times. He's definitely a better hammer than he is a nail. He definitely doesn't do very well or have any history of doing good as a nail. But I'll pick him over Bruno Ferreira. I feel he has pretty good size advantage over him. I think he has about 3 inches, 2 to 3 inches of height over him. And I think he has at least 5 inches of reach over. I think Phil Hawes got about like 74, 75, maybe even 77-inch reach. And Bruno Ferreira got like T-Rex arms. He's listed at like 5'10", but he probably really like 5'7". So Phil Hawes not the tallest or biggest dude, but I think he's longer. I think he's wider. Well, I'm not saying wider. Bruno Ferreira is a little tank, so he's wider. But anyway, I think Phil Hawes is the more technical fighter. I think he's a more technical striker, and either of these guys could put each other's light out. So it's not a case of Bruno Ferreira this tank that has like an iron chin, and Phil Hawes is the only one with a punch chin. Bruno Ferreira barely got touched. The moment he got touched, he got slept. So his chin is definitely questionable. Well, and I think Phil Hawes is the more technical striker. I think he's the better wrestler, so he can dictate where this fight goes. And I don't think Bruno Ferreira is really a bottom grappler. I think he's more so a top grappler. If anything, he kind of tries to bully you, pressure you, do hard shots, and throw you around. He's not a guy that's going to be like, you take him down, he start doing arm bars and leg locks and all that stuff. He's not that guy. He's a top grappler. So I think that would benefit Phil Hawes. I don't think he has a super phenomenal guillotine. But then again, all guys with bulldog arms got guillotine, so he should have that. But I think Phil Hawes could approach it like very educated and smart, work behind the jab, be more technical. And definitely that would benefit him. Like now he don't have to really work to get in with a tall guy. He going in with guys short him, so he can work kind of how he did against Darren Wynn. But yeah, I'm not gonna get too much of that one. But he definitely done with shorter guys, so he don't have to work with the issue with guys that aren't as technical. Is sometimes the biggest issue with guys like when they're new or are greener in their striking is dealing with length versus when sometimes when you advanced striker, you prefer to fight a long guy that don't know how to use his length. But when you like not that technical, you like fighting a guy who's long is the toughest battle is, even if he's not good. But I think Phil Hawes is gonna use that length. And I think with that length and that speed and explosiveness, I think he'll be able to work on the jab, have a cleaner technique and find the shots better and be able to put out Phil Ferreira in the first round. So in this one, I got Phil Hawes via first round TKO. Now over to Nikki Betts.
That's a bold prediction. The first round, I could see how it could happen, but I think you said low confidence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think like you said, Bruno Fair, he's the opposite of a weight bully. He's 5'8" and he's at 185. Like you said, he's a tank. You know what I mean? If Phil Haas, I've seen him tend to make mistakes. I'm not criticizing him as a fighter. I just there's things that I see he probably could have done differently, but it's not my place. I'm not his coach. But I think he's you know what I mean? He's fought a lot of people, and I give him credit for that. So this one isn't like the Waldo Cortes where I'm like, yeah, he's 10-1 and this dude's 12-15, and the 10-1 is definitely gonna win. I could see, either fighter winning, but I'm gonna lean Phil. I'll go Bruno Ferreira just because I'll probably lose, but I'll take Bruno Ferreira just because.
All right. So what round are you predicting today? First round knockout got to be like under 1.5. Both these guys are finishers for the most part.
Yeah, I agree. I see under 1.5 for this one for sure. This card, I mean this fight specifically, I do see probably under 1.5. I just sometimes people can outlast the minutes, but yeah, I could definitely see this under just from the times on their when I looked at Bruno Ferreira, he was like 2 minutes and 22 seconds, and Phil Hawes was like 8 minutes 36 seconds. So I definitely agree. I hesitate because I don't know, but yeah, I see probably in the first round one of them is just going to either starch the other one, but Phil Hawes can be chinny too, so I will say that. But yeah, I'll take Bruno Ferreira.
All right, now to our next one. We have in the bantamweight division, we got Ricky Simone versus Mario Bautista. And how I feel about this one right here is I'm going to average confidence Ricky Simone to beat Mario Bautista. In another one, a lot of people were early on super excited about Ricky Simone, saying like, "Oh, this is such an easy pick for whatever reason." But another case where like, where's the easy at? I definitely could see that Blackshear was able to have success against him, and Blackshear came on short notice, and Ricky Simone was far more confident than Blackshear, so I could see that angle. But it's not like Mario Batista is not a fighter who has a clear history of like, oh, he loses to this type of fighter. It's not like a case of he has 5 losses, like Neil Magny. He had like every time he fights a BJJ black belt, he gets tapped out real easy. But they make him like he never had trained a day of jiu-jitsu. He might as well been trained off the street and have no BJJ training at all. How easily he gets tapped out by these grapplers. Like it's not a history there. I think he had like 2 losses. One loss he got caught by with Trevin Jones. Another loss he got, what's his name? Corey Sandhagen made him like he had no jiu-jitsu. Corey Sandhagen tapped him out pretty easily. So he didn't really have he had a TKO loss, like a flash TKO loss, and a quick submission loss. And that submission loss was like several years ago. If anything, his grappling is looking a lot better now. So it's not like a clear indicator of where he's like exactly weak. It's not a track worker that's continually persisting. It's not a clear track worker. So yeah, I'm talking a whole lot, but yeah, I'm leaning Rick Simone here, average confidence, but I'm definitely not locked in or crazy about this at all because I feel like Mario Batista's grappling has been proven a lot. I feel he's the better striker, he's the longer fighter, and he definitely could maybe intercept Ray Borg, not Ray Borg, but Ricky Simone probably reaching for a takedown, maybe catch him with a knee or something, some flash knockout. He might even get hurt him and submit him himself. Like Ricky Simone, same guy who got dropped and finished by a 40-year-old retired Uriah Faber not too long. I mean, it was a long time ago, but that happened to him, as I'm gonna say. But yeah, I do like the fact that Ricky Simone was able to go as many rounds as he did with Yadon Song, who was a heavy hitter, and he didn't have the great success at all with his grappling. So he was able to go several rounds with a hard-hitting Yadon Song. So I think that gives him a lot of confidence. That gives me confidence in him, average confidence. And I do think his grappling will be able to have success. I think he's able to mix it up enough on the feet, especially if you could do that with Yadon Song long enough. And I think he could at least like hold his own with at the very least hold his own with Mario Batista on the feet. And I think on the grappling, I think he has a huge advantage on the grappling. I'm not saying he's going to go out and just have easy work with him in the grappling, no, but I think he can mix in the takedowns, get control time on him, and if he needs to get him back down, he can go for other takedowns. I think he has good cardio. I think he has good experience, and I think he's a well-rounded fighter. And I think he's overall the more well-rounded fighter, and I think he has more areas that he can exploit. Bautista, I feel like more so kind of is trying to intercept his takedown, maybe and meet it with knees, uppercuts, and again try to hurt him on the way in, basically. But yeah, I'm going Ricky Simone, average confidence to beat Mario Bautista, and I'm leaning a decision victory for Ricky Simone. So in this one, I have Ricky Simone via decision. Not over to Nikki Betts.
Yeah, I think the easiest way to put this is his fight with Song Yadong, because they were the headliner, and 1 minute into round 5, Song Yadong TKO'd him. So I think Mario Bautista, I don't think he's a better quality fighter than Song Yadong. And if Ricky Simone can last 5 minutes with Song Yadong, and I met Mario Bautista. He was really nice. He gave me an autograph and everything. It was great. For his fight at UFC 292 against Blackshear. And like he impressed me, but like Ricky Simone, if you can hang 5 minutes with Song Yadong, bro, you're doing something right. So I think Mario Bautista could easily upset the roster, like you know what I mean, just do something crazy, because it's like I'm not even gonna relate it to that, because I got average confidence Ricky Simone, medium to low confidence Ricky Simone.
All right, that's your prediction. Now on to the next one. We have in the lightweight division, we got Jim Miller versus Gabriel Benitez. And I'm going low confidence. I'm Jim Miller here to beat Gabriel Benitez. I feel like basically with this one, I feel like Gabriel Benitez is someone that Jim Miller at this stage in his career still can beat and has shown the ability to beat. I feel like Benitez is kind of very one-dimensional. He got some heavy kicks. He's an okay striker. Not the best defense, not the best chin, but he'll bring aggression. He'll bring some heat. But again, largely only on the feet. Where I feel like Jim Miller can pose issues for him on the feet. He can intercept those kicks and catch them with hooks and up top. And like I said, if Jim Miller hurts you, that guillotine's live. If you get hurt and feel pressure and shoot a takedown, like a panic takedown, that guillotine's live. And Jim Miller also dragged his fight to the ground. I feel like Jim Miller has his experience, his skills are more than enough for him to beat a guy like Gabriel Benitez. Benitez still, despite being up there in his career, having like over 50 fights, I think he still has what it takes to beat a guy like Benitez. And Benitez really again is kind of hoping that Jim Miller just wakes up one day, he feels or fights like he's 60-year-old. But if Jim Miller still has look like he looked his last couple fights, I think Jim Miller is still very live here, and I think Jim Miller still has everything he needs to beat a guy at the level and skill of Gabriel Benitez. So what I feel in this one, I feel Jim Miller's going to, like really first round, I feel like Benitez probably going to come out with some kicks or whatnot, and Jim Miller's not going to respond to them as well early on, but he's going to start to get the beat on him and start to catch them. First, those like the hooks are like the counter hooks are probably going to be coming up a little bit short. Eventually, going to start to find his range and start to crack Benitez with that. Follow with another hook behind that, start to wobble Benitez and get Benitez a little bit uncomfortable. Force Benitez on the back foot. Benitez going to try to probably respond with like a sloppier hook, just trying to get him off him. Get caught with like another hook or something, caught like an overhand. I think probably going to start trying to get dropped or try to go for a takedown or maybe just duck his head a little bit. I think that little reaction, that little levels change. When you kind of stumble a little bit, going to leave an opening for Jim Miller to see the guillotine. And I think he jumps on in the second round and gets Benitez out of there in the second round via submission. So in this one, I got Jim Miller via second round submission. Now over to Nikki Betts.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, like the difference between Jim Miller and oh God, hold on. Between Jim Miller and give me 1 second. Andre Arlovski, because Jim Miller's 40, bro. And he's still like kicking, bro. He's still doing his thing. I think he has a lot of talent, and I think that's what works for him. You know what I mean? And he can get a TKO, he can get a submission. You know what I mean? And if you're not careful, he'll sweep you up somehow. You know what I mean? So I'm leaning Jim Miller, low to medium confidence. So yeah, in this one I got Jim Miller, medium to low.
Medium to low. All right, now to our next one. We have a rematch in the flyweight division. We got Matheus Nicolau versus Mano Kape. And how I feel about this one right here is I'm going high confidence Kape to beat Nicolau. So in the rematch, so we got the second fight. So Nicolau versus Kape 2. And I'm going high confidence despite Nicolau beating Kape in the first round. I mean, the first time. And I think momentum is a big thing. I feel like now Kape has got his feet wet. I feel like his confidence is surging. He's like looking sharper with the shots. He's being more confident. He's taking more risks. He let his hands go. And I feel like that was a big issue in his first fight and really his first couple fights in the UFC. I feel like, he was leaving the ring, like coming from Risen to UFC, and he was, from the ring to the octagon. And, he had the fact that he was, I guess, coming from as a champion. So I feel like he had a lot of things kind of holding back. Like he felt like, oh, I gotta be this. I gotta pick my shots. I can't afford to come over here, maybe get knocked out in my first fight, or I can't afford to do this. I feel like he was kind of locking himself up. He was locking up his skills because, it bit him on the butt. Like, you weren't trying to lose, or you were trying to like come over here as this champion, and that mentally locks you up. But now he had a couple losses. Like he lost to Nicolau. He lost to what's his name? He lost to the current champion, whose name I'm forgetting right now. But yeah, he lost at least 2 fights in the UFC. He had lost already, and now like I said, I lost already. Like what's there to lose no more? Yeah, Pantoja, like Alexandre Pantoja. So he lost twice, at least twice already in UFC. And now, like once you lose, like sometimes all you need. Like now, like what I got to lose, I already lost. I already, got a 2 loss record. Now I'm just to lock in and just let it go. It's better to let it go and lose than just feel like, oh, I didn't like do all I could, and then I got ready in the third round. I lost because it took me 2 rounds to get ready. And especially with Nicolau now coming off a loss where he got rocked, I think before he got submitted. I think that's going to just further, light a fire in Kape to come here. Now, this close to a title fight, a rematch versus a guy who come off fight where he got hurt, dropped, and finished and submitted. That's going to that's blood in the water for Kape. Kape will be coming in locked and loaded. He's going to see the takedowns. He already know what game he's bringing. I don't think Nicolau is bringing anything new, and I don't feel like Nicolau ever really brought anything new for the most part. So he's going to come in here. He knows what he's going to bring, knows what he's going to do. He's gonna be ready for those takedowns, and he's also not gonna be afraid to let his hand go. So when he started kind of in the third round of that last fight, he's gonna start in the first round. I think he's gonna be out there, force Nicolau to miss shots, or just find those open on Nicolau and immediately make his presence known. And that's gonna put Nicolau behind. And he's not gonna be able to come from that deficit or come from that. No, he's not gonna come from behind. He's gonna get pressed, put backwards, push back, and teed off on. I think he gets put out in the first round. I'm not saying he's gonna get ran over, but I think it'll be like a process where he just chopping him down, just walking down, ripping him to the body, ripping him top, just looking cleaner, much sharper, much more technical, with much heavier hands, and just show like this is the gap between us that I have created now. I've gotten better and I have locked in, and I'm ready to fight for a title and ready to win a title. And I think that's what he's going to show in this fight. He's going to make a statement performance against Nicolau. I think he gets him out of there first round. So in this one, I got Kape via first round TKO. Not up to Nikki Betts.
Yeah, I see this one going a lot of the same way the main event's gonna go. I think Kape is just a little bit better than Nicolau, but I do believe in both people. I think like Johnny Walker, Nicolau can be magnificent. I just think, Magomed's a little more polished, and now that Manel's been fighting for a while, he's a little more polished, and I kind of see those going similar. But I really like this fight. I think both guys are at the highest level of their game, and I think it's going to be a chess match through and through. So I'm excited to watch it. I'm just going to leave Kape, and I have low to medium confidence, because people can be deadly no matter what. So, yeah, that's my thoughts.
All right, now on to our main event. So in our main event, we have in the light heavyweight division, we got Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker 2. And how I feel about this one right here is I'm going high confidence Magomed Ankalaev to beat Johnny Walker in the rematch, even though this is really like part 2 of the first fight. The first fight that had no conclusion. But yeah, high confidence Ankalaev. I just feel like Johnny Walker, his threat is chaos, basically. I feel like technically there's not really a path to victory for him. Well, obviously, everybody got a chance at this stuff. He's a trained fighter. But as far as clear, like I really get behind it, path to victory, I don't see it. I feel like Ankalaev is the more cleaner technical striker on offense and defense. Walker might be more dangerous, but as far as like technically, he's the less technical striker. I feel like Ankalaev is the more technical grappler, as far as efficiency, like effective and efficient wise, like efficiently, he's more of a better grappler. I feel like Walker don't really have the most submissions off his back, and I feel like Ankalaev should be able to address his grappling's not like Johnny Walker got Paul Craig level grappling. He doesn't. He's not as effective, not as deadly, especially not off his back. He's more of a top grappler, if anything. Especially at this level. So I feel like Ankalaev can control the pace of the fight. I'm leaning towards the decision for Ankalaev. I feel Walker is so long and crafty and wiry and weird. That's going to make Ankalaev respect it. But just like he fought like Santos and some of these other guys that are a little bit weird and awkward, he takes some time to figure them out, kind of break them out down. And he doesn't really force finishes. So it's not like he'll go out there, trying to force a finish and, leave himself open for counters and finish. So as long as he's winning, typical Russian or I guess higher level MMA type fighters, that aren't really like finish first focus fighters, they're not going to force a finish. If they're winning, that's good. It's not about, I got to go out here and, have a excited fan fight because the fans are booing me. Like, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to take the guy down and punch him in the face with, like, little soft punches for 5 minutes if needed to avoid, getting hit with some front kicks, spinning back kicks, spinning elbows, flying knees, switch kicks and stuff. Like, I'm just going to put him down on his back, punch him in the mouth, maybe go to half guard, maybe stay in his guard and just grind the fight out. But I see kind of like a little bit of a point fight, mixing the takedowns, but a dragged out fight where Ankalaev is just a more efficient fighter and a better fighter overall. So in this one, I got Magomed Ankalaev via decision. Now over to Nikki Betts.
Yeah, I agree. Like the last fight, I just think like Manel Cobb, Magomed's just a little bit sharper. I don't think he's worth minus 455 because Johnny Walker's no slouch. He's been dusting people, but Magomed Ankalaev's at the highest level of what he does at his weight level. So I believe in him too. I think minus 455 is a little bit rich for me. I do like this for my parlay. I'm gonna keep it sweet, short and sweet this week. Just three things in my parlay, and I do have one with this that I believe is easy money. And so I think Johnny Walker, if he can outpoint and outmaneuver Magomed Ankalaev, he could beat him. But is he capable of doing that? No matter if it's in a 5 minute each fight. You know what I mean? So it's I'm excited for it. I think it's only the people who really like the UFC will appreciate this fight for what it's worth, because these are two high level guys, just like Manel Cobb and Mateus Nicolau. They're very high level. They got a lot to offer, and they're good in the departments they are. That's why they're number 3 and number 7 and number 5 and number 6. So if Magomed was up one more, it would go 4, 5, 6, 7. But these guys are high level. I love it. I'm excited for it. As far as the bet, I wouldn't bet on Magomed at minus 455. I would maybe bet him by decision, but I think for the most part, there's only one way I could bet this fight, because I do believe it should be easy to get. So in this one, I got low to medium confidence, Magomed Ankalaev, probably by decision.
All right, now we come to the conclusion of the video. We got the parlays now, so maybe the first or last, or maybe first and or last free public, I guess, full card prediction parlay of the year. But we'll see as the year goes on or what we do with it. But yeah, my parlay, I'm just doing one parlay one public parlay. The rest of the parlays you can find on the Discord if you get the free ones, or you pay the $10, $20 a month, or the $50 one time, and you get all the bets. But anyway, this is the YouTube one, the one YouTube one, and I really just came up with this one to fly. I'm on play it, but yeah. So for my parlay 3-piece, I'm going Magomed Ankalaev, I'm going Waldo Cortes Acosta, and I'm going Tom Nolan, and that's my 3-piece. So Magomed Ankalaev, Waldo Cortes Acosta, and Tom Nolan. So Nikki Betts, what's your parlay or parlays?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with you on that number 3. I think it's our lucky number. I wanted Waldo Cortes Acosta. Not that I don't think Andre Arlovski's a beast. I just I did think that could be a safe bet. Dude from the Dominican Republic, and he looks like he's coming to bang. But yeah, I got Joshua Van, Tom Nolan. I want to say free Basharat, but I'm just going to skip that. and I'm gonna go all the way up to Magomed and Ankalaev's fight. I'm gonna go over 1.5. So I got Joshua Van, Tom Nolan, and Magomed's fight to go over 1.5. And that's my public parlay, possibly the last free one of the year.
All right, nice. And so that's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to Nicky Best on his channel. Subscribe to my channel. And definitely his video usually posts like at least a couple hours or if not a whole day before I post mine. So check his out because it's going to be out before mine. But yeah, check his out. Subscribe to his channel. Subscribe to my channel. Like, comment, subscribe. And that's the video. Peace.
Oh no. I can cut it.